Hey, what's up? It's Kenny Roy. It just dawned on me that everybody is getting their demo reels ready for CTN, which starts on Friday. It's Wednesday right now, so I'm giving you this tip just a day or so in advance. This was the demo reel tip that I gave at the Gnomon, the evening at Gnomon. That was about a month ago, and I gave it to a crowd of animators that were there. It basically boils down to this. Take a look at all your work. Take a look at every single shot that you've done, and take a look at, does your character seem like they're moving freely in space? Okay, what we're trying to avoid, basically the nuts and bolts of this tip are the following. A huge amount of student work can be picked out as such because the characters are all locked onto one axis, or if they turn, they are turning on 90 degrees, and you're doing that normally because it's much easier to do a walk cycle or to perform on a long single axis than it is to actually break them up. Okay, that's a huge mistake. Okay, now it may be too late for you to make a change with your performance work. It may be too late to do anything that's going to mitigate the damage that's been done to your reel so far, and I understand that. But if you can, probably it's a good idea to take out if there are way too many shots like in a row where you have your action all on one axis, than to keep it in. It's probably a better idea to take it out. Or think about this in terms of editing it. Edit your shot together so that it gets a little bit of a breather from that all in a line action. Okay, if you take a look at the demo reel of a professional who's been working on a lot of films or games or TV or anything it is, you look at their work and you'll see that a lot of it is broken off that one axis. A lot of it is, you know, like jumping from stepping stone to stepping stone, or someone gets knocked and they're off their, you know, they're off balance and they're struggling and they're shuffling their feet and catching their balance and all that stuff. So if you if you don't have anything like that, you're going to kind of like immediately kind of like mark yourself down as somebody that you know, maybe has a problem with those kinds of things. I'll be completely upfront with you guys. When I got my first job, this is way back in '97, but I actually had never animated someone turning completely around, ever. Okay, and maybe a couple of you are saying to yourself, oh, well, actually, I haven't done that either. And it can be kind of hard. It can be actually pretty difficult. So my advice is the one demo reel tip. I think I kind of like marketed the evening as the one piece of demo reel advice that nobody's talking about is basically, as you're pursuing your personal shots and as you're doing your work for class or whatever it is, try as early as possible, as soon as you can, to break your character off that one axis. Okay, so go back into your demo reel and take a look and see how it's looking. Here is a quick way to block or lay out your scene so that you get your character moving kind of like a little bit in more than one axis, and you can kind of get a little bit better result quicker. Okay, so I'm going to show you this. Okay, so here's Morpheus. All right, so let's say we have a obstacle in his way. All right, and we want him to walk around this. This would be a really cool shot to do. But a lot of the problem is that posing alone, just posing all of the world IK movers would be a huge pain in the butt to get him to walk around this thing, wouldn't it? So what I take advantage of is the fact that Maya allows you to bake keys onto controllers just by hitting set key if you have it constrained. And let me show you how to do that. So basically, we have our character, and it doesn't really matter how he's oriented if you're doing a motion where they're moving, you know, pretty crazy in terms of the amount of like curving they're doing, or how much they're really feeling the space. I remember I think it's iAnimate the wine, the 11-second club winner, that was the guy, like, was it, no, it's just a demo reel where the guy's like, maybe this is why you shouldn't drink so much wine or whatever, or were you drinking wine and she saw a ghost or whatever. Watch that shot back again. I know you know what I'm talking about. The characters, they're walking past each other, they're turning, they're moving, like it really feels like, and this is the hallmark of a really good demo reel of a professional or someone who's ready for the pros, is that it feels like all of this space around them is totally available to the character. Whereas if all you have is like one character or two characters and they're just going back and forth on one line, it feels extremely stiff, and it feels like all this is like completely blocked off from them. It feels like they're on rails. All right? So that's a thing to pay attention to. But at any rate, so back to Maya here. It really doesn't matter. You know, the tip is the mover, the master control should be pointing towards like the axis that you're going to be using the most in a shot. But if you're doing an extreme action like this, well then it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to orient him like this, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a helper object. All right, it doesn't matter what it is, it really doesn't. Okay, and it doesn't matter how it's oriented or what size it is, it really doesn't matter at all, because a constraint doesn't actually change the hierarchy of anything. It just moves an object to where you want it. Okay, so the way this works is the following. We're going to I'm going to say that I want this character to be walking forwards, and we're going to make it even more complex. And this, again, this is just a tip for how you can lay out a scene so that at least your world IK movers and all those kinds of things, at least those are getting kind of the right treatment, the right, shall we say, the right setup, so that they're not so cumbersome just to pose. Because this would be, I mean, how long would it take for me? Let me hide that. All right, so I'm going to grab his world IK movers. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add this quickly to a display layer that's referenced. Okay, so I'm going to grab his world IK movers. Is that it? Oh yeah, okay. Just his arms and his legs right now. I'm sorry, his root and his legs right now. I'm going to hit set, right? And now I'm going to move him over here. And then this is invariably what happens, is when you start twisting him, right? The stupid feet are always twisting, and here's the extreme example of it. They twist over each other. So it becomes a problem of deselecting, positioning this one, rotating it correctly, and all that stuff, right? So you don't want that. And I don't want, let's see here, I don't want the arms to be isolated. The arms are doing that weird isolation thing. So we can actually make them, we can make them IK, I guess. Although I'd much rather know how to fix that one thing. Let me see here. Face rig I should buy rose. Okay, it doesn't matter. So let me actually, first thing, I gotta move him back to where he was. Okay. Now, and the reason, okay, again, and the reason why you don't want to use the master controller is because if you move the master around, then you have to completely redo everything, because you want his feet to actually be sticking on the ground. They'll slide around if you're using the master controller and then the IK movers, right? So that's no good either. Okay, so let's do this. Let me just make really quickly these IK. Okay, cool. So there's my helper. Okay, so now my helper, I'm going to parent constrain with offset. Okay, maintain offset, add. Now all you have to do is hit the G key, and the G key redoes the last command. Just make sure you guys know what I'm doing, so you're not confused by what you see. Okay, now this ball controls my whole character's IK controls. So now all I have to do is I'm going to set a key. Let's move him over here. set a key. Actually, I have auto key on. So he would be walking around, turning right here, coming to here, okay, like that. Let's do 120 frames. Sorry about that. I forgot that I cannot use my numpad. My numpad is for Wirecast. Okay, then he's gonna turn and he's gonna look this way, like he's suspicious, like he's sneaking around this column, right? And now he's gonna walk backwards around the rest of this column, right? Now, just to pose this, and I've been describing what I'm doing as I'm going, just to pose this, okay, in IK, using the IK controllers, his waist, getting his hands pointing the right way and his feet the right way, huge pain in the butt, right? Huge pain in the butt. At least, you know, 30 minutes of posing, and it won't end up with actually a really nice result anyway, even if you do it that fast, okay? Now, this is all we have to do. It's pretty nice. I'm going to select all of the IK controls again. Did I get it? Yeah, there we go. All right. And now you see on the timeline, if I hit comma and period, it goes back and forth between the keyframes. The funny thing is that while you have a constraint on, okay, all of your controls that are selected, and you set a key, it'll set a key for the value of the constrained object regardless of where its parent object is. And to put another way, if I have an object that's constraining me and I move that object 5 units to the left and then I set a key on me, it'll say, where am I right now in the world? Oh, well, I'm 5 units away from where I was. Okay, 5. All right. Even though this parent is still constraining me, and if I rotate it or if I move it or whatever, actually I should have gone like this, right? I will still move around with it. All right. If I delete it, that key still remains, so it'll still say, okay, now go 5 to the left. Okay, so watch this. So I'm just going to hit S to set a key on all of these IK controls, and then go period to step forward a frame, or a keyframe, because I still have that helper object selected. Okay, let me do that again because it wasn't showing. Set a key, forward, set a key, set a key, set a key, set a key, set. Okay, so great. Now, check this out. I'm going to delete my helper object, so there's no more constraint, but watch what happens. Watch Morpheus. He moves around exactly as if that helper object was still there. How long would that have taken you to keyframe and to get right? I mean, just look. It's gorgeous. Oh my goodness. The feet are moving properly. They're not like twisting over each other, right? And the arms, the IK arms, right? I know when you're posing an IK character that like you just try to turn around and all of a sudden you get the crazy, you get the nasty bending and folding and whatever. How long would this have taken you? Now, if I wasn't describing what I was doing, this would have taken me about 4 minutes to do, and it's as good as you're ever going to get in terms of laying this out really, really quickly, right? Watch it again. Now we have this awesome shot that we're building, that we're coming together, where this character is going around this thing and then turning around and then sneaking like this. How much better? Now, I never say any of this to knock you down or make you discouraged about what you've done. But take a look at your work right now and ask yourself, how many of my shots actually feel even as much as this little layout that the character has the entire 360 degrees like available to them. All right, that's what you need to start thinking about. That's what you need to focus on. Hopefully this little tip will help you out. Hopefully you'll use it and go far with it. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys at CTN. Good luck with your animation as always. Rock on.